Hello chemists! Welcome back and thank you for joining me to learn more about chemistry. In this video, we're going to learn about a scientist who studies something so important that there wouldn't be life on Earth without it. They are called water or environmental chemists. So, what exactly does a water chemist do? What are some questions we can ask ourselves when looking at this picture? What is the scientist doing in this image? Where are they? What are they standing next to? Are they wearing lab coats like other chemists we have seen? No. This chemist is outside and it looks like they are collecting water samples from a river. They are recording the information in their notebook about the samples in their portable science toolkit. I like that not all their time is spent in a lab. I remember from learning about medicinal and material chemists that they were both inside, but it looks like our water chemist probably divides their time between the outside and the inside. Water chemists study and care for all our water systems. Some examples of water systems are oceans, lakes, rivers, and reservoirs. Can you name any more? Considering 75% of the Earth's surface is water, this is a pretty big and important job. Water chemists study the plants and animals that live in water, and they investigate how human-built things like cities and factories affect the quality of the world's water. They even come up with ways to clean polluted water environments. Though there is a lot of water on the Earth, only 1% of it is safe to drink. That means water chemists are working to protect the survival of all life on our planet. Now that we know what a water chemist does, let's be water chemists with an experiment called invisible changes. Often dangerous changes to water can't be seen. How can we study something is changing if we can't see it? Well, let's find out. One thing water chemists are concerned about is how acidic the water is. This is very important because the acid level can tell them how healthy the water they are studying is and if it is safe for animals and plants to live in, swim in, and drink. Have you seen or heard about acids before? What is an example of a liquid that is very acidic? Something that you might find in your kitchen. Have you ever squirted lemon in your eye or tried to eat an orange with a little cut on your finger? It isn't very comfortable. Imagine if the water you called home was very acidic, like a lemon or an orange. But acidity is not something that we can see with our eyes. So how do we study how acidic something is if we can't see acidity? With the help of tools called a pH test strip and a pH scale. Now for a couple science vocabulary words. pH stands for power of hydrogen and measures the amount of hydrogen ions in a water-based solution. An ion is one of the tiniest parts of matter, the thing us chemists are studying. The higher the number of hydrogen ions, the more acidic something is. The pH test strips contain a mixture of different indicators that change colors depending on how many hydrogen ions there are in a solution you are testing. The result is this beautiful rainbow of color changes that tell us the pH. What color indicates acids? We've got reds, yellows, and orange. Then we move towards green, which is neutral. That means that the water is balanced and safe for humans and animals to drink, swim, and live in. What are these dark purples and blues, you may ask? Well, that is telling you that something is basic or a base, the opposite of acidic. If acidic is a high number of hydrogen ions, then what do you think the basic would be? Yes, a low number of hydrogen ions. A basic pH also isn't good for the health of water. Things that are basic often taste bitter and feel soapy or slippery. Some bases you may have in your house could be soaps, cleaning products, or laundry detergents. Whew, that was a lot. Now it is time for us to experiment together. We are going to do a lab called Invisible Changes. Luckily, I have you to help me record our findings in your science notebook. It's going to be really important to use your great observation skills for this. So here in front of me, I have 3 cups of water. We're going to test the pH of each of them and see what we can find out. So, I have my pH strip, which I am going to dip into sample number 1. Ooh. If we use our pH scale, what can we guess about that sample? I think it's about a 4 or 5, which means that it is acidic. Now I'm going to do the same thing with sample 2. As you can see, it changes pretty quickly with the indicators. This one's a little bit harder to see, but I would say that it is about an 8, which is neutral. That means that it is safe to drink or safe for animals and plants to live in. And finally, I'm going to do the last one with sample 3. And you can see that it's a very dark blue or purple. I think probably around 13, which means that it is a base. So what have we discovered here? Though all these samples look the same, we can tell from our pH strips that they are not. So in sample 1, I added solution A. What do we think solution A is if it read on the pH as acidic? Yes, it is an acid. What can we guess about sample 2? It is neutral. I just took this sample from the sink, so it is safe to drink. That's a relief. And then if we look at sample 3, which was basic, I added solution B to this sample. So then that means that solution B is a base. So now that we've learned how to use our science tools of a pH strip and a pH scale, we know how to test for invisible changes in water that can tell us how healthy a lake or a river or the ocean is. Now that we've got our feet wet, it is time for you to be a water chemist at home with the experiment Water Watchers. This is a tricky experiment, so it will require a lot of patience and concentration. In Water Watchers, you are part of a team of water chemists. Your job is to observe the water in the local rivers and lakes to make sure it stays clean and healthy for humans, plants, and animals. You have just received a water sample collected from a river. This sample was collected from the part of a river near a factory because someone reported that the factory might be leaking pollution into the river. Your job is to find out if the water is clean or polluted. If it is polluted, we'll need to test some ways to get the water as clean as possible again and solve the problem. These are the materials you have been given to complete your assignment. You've got a well plate, some different solutions, pH testing strips, which we just learned about, different things to maybe filter out some of the pollution, but it is up to you to experiment. Remember, water must be neutral for it to be safe to drink and safe for plants and animals to live in. Make sure to take plenty of notes. Good luck. Thanks for joining me today to investigate the invisible and learn about water chemistry. Hopefully we can work together to keep our water safe and clean.